Hey everybody, it's week 81. My name is Amy. I reached my goal weight, lost about 70 pounds last May. So going on maintenance, 13 months now, staying strong. I bring you the good, the bad, everything in between. I love having this community connecting with you. We're going to get healthy and stay healthy together. I can't tell you what a positive influence y'all have been on me. All right, a lot of awesome things this week 81. I went to the family reunion where they saw me thin for the first time and maybe, oh, that good old thumbs up, saw me the first time thin in many decades. Number 2, yikes with the sweets. And number 3, what do we do when we're around all kinds of junk food, but we're trying to stay on the healthy track? And last, the joy of being on these shots and how they can help us get through rough times. So first of all, thank you to Cindy, our new Gold Tier member. If you want to go check out our community page on the website, we have weekly talks every Friday night on Discord. Once a month, we get together and have a live Zoom call. Thank you so much for your support. I could not do all this without you. Next, does anybody see people who are really thin, like dreamland thin? Like you could have never imagined being that thin. And then thinking we have this well within our capabilities. For the most part, these drugs allow you to keep eating less and less and keep dropping the weight. And for a lot of you, you've written and you've told me, hey, I had to put on the brakes and then I was still losing some weight. That's not where I wanted to be. It wasn't my personal sweet spot. I talked to my doctor. We discussed together, this is where my goal weight was going to be. I'm having to make sure I eat enough to stay in the appropriate space. So yeah, when the shots take away some of that extra hunger that we've dealt with for the majority of our lives, it does allow you to have the freedom to choose for yourself kind of where your landing spot's going to be. So just this last week, I was watching one of my favorite videos. I hadn't seen it in maybe over a decade. For those of you who go way back in country music, you may remember Sarah Evans, but you have your own person. And I was watching her on the screen and thinking, she is very thin. I could be that thin if I chose to be. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to comprehend. And I just wanted to bring it up to you because it's kind of one of those mind-blowing thoughts. We were so out of control for so long. And these shots have brought goal weight within our reach. Like, what? I've been trying to do this since the late 80s all by myself. What? Goal weight is within reach? What? I get to choose my weight? I could even be thinner if I let myself? Yeah. You know, we often want to say magic, and I completely respect that. I love that. I know I've said it because even though we know it's science and we've loved talking about and researching the science behind these drugs, there's something that's just so special that it's brought to our lives that when we try to find a word to attach to what's going on here, you kind of just want to say magical. Okay, next, let's talk about clothes. It's been very fun for us to discuss how we're growing out of clothes. What are we going to do with them? Amy, what do I do with all these leftover clothes? Some of them I feel like holding on to. Like, is that okay? I think I should be ready to give them away. Like, what's the psychology behind why I can't let some of these clothes go? Well, I think we're all really trying to figure this maze out. We're in a brand new lifestyle. We have not been here before. We don't have a lot of tools for where we are because we're kind of in no man's land, where we've lost 50, 60, 70 pounds. So just like you, I had all these clothes that I had grown out of and I put them in sacks and I was waiting for kind of the right group to come along for me to donate them to. And by the way, yeah, I reached my goal weight 13 months ago. I just started donating them about a month ago because sometimes that's okay. You want to follow your heart. And for me, it wasn't about wanting to hold on to them. I was really waiting for where my heart wanted to send them. These are clothes I have collected for a long time. I was a single mom. Like there's some finances connected. We've talked about like that can be quite a bit of money to get a new wardrobe. So y'all have shared with me places you can go and good ideas you had. You know, like, I love my local consignment shop to try to find staples for our new wardrobe. But I wanted to tell you that in the top shelf of my closet is where I put clothes that I just was not ready to get rid of. And to be quite honest with you, I wanted to pay to have them altered. I loved them, or they were nostalgic, or there was just something special about them, or I didn't think they could be easily replaced in a smaller size, and I didn't want to put them in a bag. And that stack grew, 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 grew. And then after about 6 months, I went back through it. And what once was, oh, I can't get rid of it, was now like, you know what? Yes, I can. But I got to tell you something great. Last weekend, I was headed out the door, as you know, headed down to Texas for my family reunion. And I was getting some closure and really organizing some things in the room. Because as some of you know, that is going to be our new place where I'm going to shoot my videos. I'm going to transform part of it. I live in a condo. When I say I'm going to transform part of my bedroom, it makes things seem spacious. It's not, but it is going to be super fun. I think you're going to love it. Anyway, so I was finding closure in organizing, and I went to that stack. And y'all, after a year and 7.5 months of being on Mounjaro, there were only 4 things from the past that my heart wanted to keep. I wrote it down for you. A Katy, Texas t-shirt where I'm paying twice the amount of the cost I paid for the shirt to get it altered. Woo, but it's worth it. A skirt I've had for 20 years that went from being way too little to way too big. And it's just this cute, like light blue kind of jean material. I wore it once with some boots and a white top. Okay, forget it. You're not going to remember that. But I wanted to keep that skirt. And then just this pretty gray skirt with this black embroidery that I thought was special enough to keep. And last, a shirt that I got on my shopping spree. You know, that was one of the videos that was taken from me. But remember, I went on that shopping spree for the first time after I lost my first 60 pounds. And because I got that shirt with my, specially saved money on the shopping spree, and it had a little bit of a wonky fit, I was thinking, we are going to fix this shirt because I'm going to wear it. Yeah, so right now, those 4 things are getting fixed at the alterations place, and I pick them up tomorrow. A few other quick little things. Let's talk about the website. If you find anything that you think could be improved or an issue, if it's kind of annoying you, like that really matters to me. Feel free to shoot me a note. There's a message me down at the bottom. I would love to hear from you. I really care about this being such a positive, smooth, wonderful experience for each person who comes and visits. Okay, so let's talk about one option that wasn't there for your website video viewing, and now it is. I want to dedicate this to Dave. Dave, who is on Discord with me, on the Friday Night Talks with me, and said, hey, I watch typically on a desktop computer sometimes, and I sure wish there was that full screen option. And I said, well, I know that I've definitely clicked the box for that, so let me go back and look. So I went back and looked. All of our videos are housed over on Vimeo, and sure enough, yes, it was good. And a couple weeks later, I brought it up again. He said, no, it's still not there. So I did a little deep dive and found that it had to do with coding. So I pulled in the web developer. Y'all, I have to copy and paste something every time that I load a video, but there is a little fix between kind of where our videos are stored and then the website itself, like the building mechanism. It's a fluke. For web developers who are in the know and know where to go find those inside threads where they talk about what's happening, what are the problems, what are the fixes. Seems like other people had this issue too. Well, it's been fixed. If nothing else, just for fun, next time you're watching a video and you think about it, just click the full screen. I was happy to have one problem solved. Okay, let's talk about the reunion. The reunion where I went 70 pounds lighter than I was the last time. Oh my goodness. Here's a picture of John and I. I think on maybe just last week's video, I showed you a picture of me at the reunion 2 years ago, and there's just such a difference. And because I'm at a reunion, so there's a lot of reunion pics and looking through photo albums. I like the new Amy. The new Amy's outside fits how Amy has always been inside. And I remember at the reunion last week, remember I told you that one time I went over to the Pacific Ocean and I had on black pants at the beach because when you're overweight, that's just what you have and what fits you. And maybe it's, it's comfortable. Maybe it makes you comfortable mentally and physically, but I was seeing at the reunion some types of apparel that reminded me of how I had to dress when I was 70 pounds heavier. And there's just something special about wearing what you want to wear. And what I saw was back in 2013, we had a picture taken of me and all of my cousins all in a row by age. What a darling picture. And we were remaking it from one that our parents had done when they put us against a wall when we were all really little. So it was this amazing before and after picture. But the point is that there I was in 2013 in this picture remake, and I had an ankle length dress on. And that's okay. And it was cotton and it was striped and it was kind of cute. But it's 93 degrees in Dallas this time of year. A cotton dress to my ankles? I'm not going to cry. That is not what I wore this year. That is not what I wore this year. And I wrote here, finally, exclamation point. Yeah, finally, I got to go wearing what I would have loved to have worn for the last 20 years. So for those people that write and you're later on in your life and you're finally getting to your goal weight and they're just as thrilled as the 25-year-old, I completely get it. It's not about when. It's about, I did it. Finally. It's truly a great feeling. Okay, dry it up. Let's talk about something that's a little bit more somber. What I ate. I ate quite a bit of sugar. And I just want to talk to you that there's going to be times when you've reached your goal weight and you've been here for a year and you're really excited about the new you and you never, ever, ever want to go back. And then you're in a situation where a lot of foods that did not get you to this place, foods that you really stopped partaking in that helped you get to goal weight in some kind of record time. On some of our videos down at the bottom, I have a timeline of how I lost the initial 60 pounds. And it's because I didn't even have diet drinks, no. I had Mounjaro. Somebody gave me like this amazing gift and I was just going to squeeze all the goodness out of it. So I wasn't snacking and my meals were amazing. I would make them, come sit at the table. I wouldn't run back to the pantry, go graze on the kitchen counter, go snack in between. No, I was really like a machine and I'm proud of that. And that's amazing. I'm really proud of myself for hanging on to it and having confidence. I'm not white knuckling it like this is me. This is going to be me 10 years from now. But I went to that reunion where we are well known for having just 24/7, like the dessert table never shut down. It started right when I got there. When we left, people started cleaning it up, but it doesn't have to be refrigerated. So it just stays. All these goodies just stay spread out. It's some foods that I don't get all the time and homemade recipes and call that an excuse. But you tend to find yourself going back and getting another one and another one. And that doesn't have to completely unravel you for long term. And what I wanted to share with you is that one, like you can have, guidelines for yourself. You can have parameters that you try to stay in. But when you have these special occasions, or you basically just have a week where you get off, I think in the past, there was such a difference. We've talked about this. You've talked to me about how in the past, like just everything is shattered. And now everything's not shattered. You had that day or those 3 days, or you had quite a week and then you're back to it. That is the magic of Mounjaro or the weight loss shot that you're on. And by the way, I hear more and more people sharing with me how it's going with the compounded meds, how it's going with zepbound, with Mounjaro. And even though we talk about the differences between the percentages of the Wegovy and the Ozempic compared to the clinical trials of the zepbound and Mounjaro, I love hearing the success stories of those of you, for instance, who are on Ozempic. So there are plenty of people just having outstanding results on many different weight loss shots. And I'm so proud and thrilled for your progress. So yeah, before our community shout out, I just wanted to say Mounjaro and the like, they're like guardrails. And, we didn't have guardrails at the bowling alley. We didn't have these bumper rails when I was growing up. But now they have these things that pop up for the kids where you can't, end up in the gutter. And quite honestly, when I was thinking about this, that was just the immediate thought in my mind is for me, that's what Mounjaro does. Mounjaro keeps me kind of from falling down in the pit. It really does. It really does keep me from sinking too far, from binging too far, from just overeating too much, which is not to say that I don't really overindulge occasionally, but as far as just like going off the rails or sitting and eating thousands of calories, which a lot of us were able to do that before, and we just got in that horrible cycle of just binging and then trying to work out a lot and then trying to not eat, and then about 3 p.m. you just completely overdo it again. It was just this endless cycle. Thank you very much, tirzepatide and semaglutide, for really keeping things in check. Okay, it's our time for our community confetti throw. There are so many of you doing amazing things. I want to shout out this week to Michelle. Michelle has lost 45 pounds. And Michelle wrote me and said, Amy, I remember like it was yesterday when I was telling you that I had just lost 5. And I love that. That is a lot of hard work and success. And I'm so thrilled. Keep up the great work, Michelle. David, you have lost 75 pounds. Congratulations to you, David. Wendy has lost 85 pounds, y'all. 85 pounds. Wow, that must feel absolutely amazing. And Patrice Denise, we love her over on YouTube. 4 months at maintenance. 4 months. I love your determination. I love your cheerfulness and your personality. Keep up the great work, Patrice Denise. And Courtney, who does make my favorite lotions on earth. Courtney made it to her goal of 185. And we all set those goals for ourselves. And it was so exciting. And then she reached it. And now she's just considering a lower goal. Maybe, I think I remember her talking about 175. Courtney, I love it. I love the new you. I can only imagine how amazing it feels. And we cannot wait to get your updates. And last, Edie. Edie shared with us this week that she is under 150. And when I read what she said, I could just feel the joy as if it was happening to my best friend in the room. Like, I think we're that excited for people. We know where they're coming from. We can't know exactly how they're feeling, but we have some kind of idea. And Edie, to break 150, and by the way, y'all, she is 1 pound from her goal weight. Edie, you are doing this, and we are here to cheer you on and to cheer with you when you reach it. Okay, everybody. Well, that has been our week 81 video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.